You know that sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize you've said the wrong thing? Now imagine your most private thought, whispered to your phone in confidence, suddenly broadcast for the whole world to see. This isn't some hypothetical nightmare. For users of Meta's AI, this became a reality. Personal pleas for help, sensitive family questions, and even random audio recordings of conversations ended up on a public feed. Picture a digital bulletin board, but instead of ads for used bikes, it's covered in cries for help. One user asks the AI to help draft a delicate letter to a judge about a sensitive family matter. Another is looking for advice on a major conflict with their boss. Business Insider discovered that the Discover feed in the Meta AI app had turned into exactly that. This wasn't just a privacy breach, it was a public airing of human vulnerability. The problem wasn't that the data could leak, it already had. And just so you get the full absurdity of the situation, right next to these tragedies, you could find some pretty hilarious leaks too. One guy asked the AI to help him decide which socks to wear to a job interview. He just forgot that the chat could be made public. You can just imagine his entire office buzzing the next day about his dilemma between striped and solid-colored socks. It just goes to show how easy it was to slip up for the big stuff and the small. We're all used to the occasional butt dial, but what if your phone doesn't just call someone, but records and publishes your conversation? Among the leaks were audio files where people were discussing work stuff with colleagues, clearly having no idea their conversation was being broadcast to a public AI feed. This takes the threat to a whole new level. Your pocket turns into a spy mic working for a global corporation. This threat is real, and it's only going to get bigger. To protect yourself, you need to understand how these corporations think. If you want to get breakdowns like this and be the first to know about these digital traps, take a second to subscribe to the channel. It'll help you stay one step ahead. And now, back to our investigation. So, why were people so willing to trust a machine with their secrets? Psychologists call it the Eliza effect. We tend to anthropomorphize programs that talk to us. Meta AI created the perfect illusion of a safe space. It doesn't judge, it's always available, and it feels completely anonymous. It became a digital confessional for thousands of people. But this confessional, it turned out, had glass walls and was sitting in the middle of Times Square. Remember, an AI is not your friend. It's a complex algorithm running on rules that benefit its creator. How could anyone make a mistake like this? The trap was in the design. The sharing process was deceptively simple. Chat with the bot, hit share, then publish. For 99% of users, the share button means sending something to a friend in a private message, not publishing it for the entire world to see. The lack of a big red warning sign turned convenience into a catastrophe. It's a perfect example of how user interface design can be weaponized against user privacy. Now, forget about abstract privacy policies. Think of it this way. Every single like, photo, and comment you make on Facebook or Instagram, it's all a tiny brick. Meta takes millions of these bricks, your life, your emotions, and uses them to build its artificial intelligence. This chat leak isn't a bug. It's just the most obvious example of your personal life becoming the raw material for their product. When Business Insider broke the story, all hell broke loose. Imagine news headlines popping up one after another like a chain reaction. BBC, The Washington Post, Wired. Each headline was another blow to Meta's reputation. This wasn't just another news story. It was a global alarm bell that made millions of people ask themselves, what does my phone really know about me? Public opinion, amplified by the media, is one of the few forces that Silicon Valley actually fears. Backed into a corner, Meta responded. Their solution? A new pop-up warning. At first glance, it seems to solve the problem, but let's be real. This isn't fixing the system. It's shifting the blame. Instead of making the system safe by default, they just put up a "caution, wet floor" sign after a few dozen people had already slipped and fallen. It's a classic corporate tactic. It's not a fix. It's a legal shield for themselves. So, how does this new warning actually work? It creates friction. After it pops up, the Publish button is disabled. You have to take an extra conscious step, tapping the screen again to re-enable it. This tiny barrier breaks your muscle memory and forces your brain to switch off autopilot for a split second. This proves that Meta knew all along that people were just going through the motions. If an app suddenly makes a simple action more complicated, stop. It's probably trying to protect you from yourself. Now we're getting to the heart of it. The pop-up fix solves the problem of public posts, but it does nothing about the main, deeper issue. Your data, your posts, photos, comments, it's all being used to train their AI. You might not be sharing your chats, but you're already sharing your personality to make their product smarter. Your life is the textbook for their machine. This is a fundamental shift in the user-platform relationship that most people haven't even noticed. And now, for the secret that's hidden behind the official fix. After the scandal, the Discover feed magically changed. All the embarrassing text chats and audio recordings just vanished. They were replaced by an endless scroll of AI-generated images. But were these posts actually deleted? Nope. Meta didn't delete the evidence, they hid it. Instead of admitting the problem and cleaning the feed, they most likely just changed the algorithm to prioritize images, pushing the text-based leaks way down to the bottom. It's a brilliant move. Their reputation is saved, the problem is visually gone, but there's no official admission of censorship or deleting content. They didn't solve the problem, they just made it invisible. Think about this real example. A user asked an AI an extremely personal question, and then in the same public post wrote, "Please keep this private." This isn't stupidity. It's a tragedy of the digital age. It shows the massive gap between our human model of communication based on trust and a cold logic of a machine. We desperately want to believe we'll be understood, but a machine doesn't understand. It executes code. This whole story isn't about Meta. It's about us. To survive in this new digital reality, you need a game plan. Here are 3 simple, unbreakable rules. Rule number 1, the presumption of public. Treat every AI chat like a postcard, not a sealed letter. Assume everything you write can and will be read, always. Rule number 2, the monthly audit. Once a month, go into your app settings and check permissions. Why does your calculator need access to your contacts? Revoke. Why does that game need microphone access? Deny. This takes 5 minutes. Rule number 3, use your right to say no. Laws like GDPR give you the right to opt out of having your data used to train AI. Find that form in Meta settings. Yes, it's buried, but it's there. Find it and use it. So what's the bottom line? The Meta AI story is a perfect storm of deceptive design, the illusion of privacy, and our own blind trust in technology. Their fix isn't a solution. It's a clever PR move that hides deeper issues, from using your data for AI training to potentially covering up the evidence. But the real lesson is this. We're entering an era where your very thoughts and questions are a commodity. Your job isn't to panic, it's to adapt. Become a conscious, demanding, and savvy digital citizen. It's the only way to keep control of your own identity. Your privacy isn't something they give you, it's something you fight for.